Hey guys, this is David from Juki Junkies, home to Gigi's Fabric Shop, and in today's video we're going to be going over my favorite industrial machine, the 9000C. This is going to be the heavy model, but this will pertain to the regular model as well. This is just geared towards a little bit heavier use, thicker threads, and heavier needles. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I was saying before, this is the heavy model, which means this is geared for a size 20 to a 23 industrial DBX1 needle. The regular version is going to be a 9 to an 18 DBX1 needle. And so you can only imagine what the two machines would be used for. The 9 through the 18 is going to be kind of like a TL domestic machine, except it's obviously not anywhere near a domestic machine. It's an industrial still. And it has all these crazy features that we're going to go over. So it would be used, the regular version would be piecing, quilting, bag making, cloth making, canvas work, anything that needle sizes would range from a 9 to an 18, and you could use up to Tech 70 thread. The 20 to the 23 is going to be used for the people that are working with thicker materials more often, such as denim, canvas, thicker jacket assemblies, and purposes you'd be using a size 20 to a 23 with Tech 70 thread in it. The heavier version also has heavier blades, so it will be more geared towards using that industrial weight threads without dulling them out. So that's something to keep in mind. However, I just wanted to go over that and keep you guys aware that this machine is basically the same, the regular and the heavy. So all the functions we go over will be shared between the two models. So let's jump into the amazing features this machine has to offer. Some of the features that I really like about this machine is, well, number one, it's very quiet and very smooth, and it's also a very clean industrial. There's no belt on this industrial. It's a direct drive motor, which means that it's pretty much within the machine, and there's no big belt and motor that you have to worry about the belt being too loose. The oil is all contained in the machine itself. There's a reservoir built into the machine, and there's not really a oily, leaky pan underneath that has oil you have to clean up. Everything's kind of contained in this machine right here. So it's very clean, very simple, and it's very customizable. Unlike some of the industrials that you'd see, like the 1541S and the 1181, this machine has all the features and way more than your domestic machines would have, especially a straight stitch. This is pretty much a TL with computerized components on it to create a much more customizable machine to use. So for example, this machine has a variety of different features that you can go over, such as the screen. The screen is pretty much the heart of this machine, going over all the different features that you are able to use on this machine. So we're going to start off with just some of the functions right off the bat that the screen has to offer. You can obviously tell that this machine is not very much like your TLs where you actually would be adjusting your tension. This machine has the tension built in where it pretty much automatically sets your tension, and if you need to adjust it, you just click right here and you can adjust your tension doing so with just these digital buttons. Needle thread tension going up and down, kind of just adjusting it just like this. So that is really, really cool. The bobbin case is still going to be like your TLs where you're going to adjust your bobbin case with a flathead. And then you're obviously going to be adjusting everything on this machine just on the screen. There's really no buttons on the outside of the machine to make any adjustments. So stitch length is right here. We can adjust it all the way up to 5 millimeters just by clicking through these little buttons, and then we press enter. I just want to address real quick that the flashing of the screen is not like that in real life. It's just the pixels that your phone records in just catches the flashing a little bit, so I'm sorry for that, but try to see past it if you can. We have the presser foot pressure is right here, and it's really cool because this presser foot pressure can go into the negatives, and when you go in the negatives, I don't know if you can really tell, but my presser foot pressure is actually lifting up the foot kind of like a TL would, where now it's raised off of the stitch plate, and you can actually slide a few layers of material in there and it won't even touch. So there's 2 layers of denim I'm pretty much clearing almost all the way underneath that foot. It's allowing it to kind of just hover over that stitch plate, allowing you to sew thicker seams with ease and thicker materials without having so much presser foot pressure that you're having skip stitches or your stitches are hanging up. And I just figured it out. You can just press around. That makes it a lot easier, by the way. So we're just going to go back to, some positive numbers here since we don't need that quite yet. We can obviously change the stitch speed. This machine goes all the way up to 4,000 stitches per minute, which is an insane amount of stitches. Let's just say it's extremely fast. Another amazing feature this machine has is the thread tucker. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this function off, and pretty much what that's going to do is, you know, when you typically sew, you have this little extra thread that stays on top that you have to come back and snip. So we're going to show you how that looks, which just sew out a quick little spot, and you can see we have that long tail of thread. Now we're going to turn that function on, and it's going to pretty much tuck that thread away so we don't have to come back later on and trim that. So let me just show you what that looks like. And now, voila, look at that. Now your thread is tucked, and you don't have to worry about that tail getting snipped later on once your project is done. So that's really, really cool. Your start and your stop stitch is located right here, these two buttons, and you can customize your start and your stop by just holding down on the button and adjusting how many stitches you want it to start with, how many stitches you want it to end with, and then it saves that start stitch, and then you can do the same with your end stitch. You can go up or down, and then it saves that end stitch. This is really nice for the person who is wanting to reinforce their stitches and not have to really go back and touch any buttons on your machine as you're sewing. It makes it a lot more simpler for the person that's using this for work purposes and doesn't have that time, or that time is money for them, and you know, they have this function built into the machine. So we're going to go ahead and just do a quick little sew out with the functions on and then with the functions off to show you kind of what we're talking about in case you don't know. So the machine automatically did that the beginning stitch, reinforcing it, and then when I pressed the heel click, it did that end stitch, reinforcing it as well, and you can see it right here. And it's all pretty much ready to go, and you don't have to do anything extra. You didn't have to touch any extra buttons, you just had to program your machine to do so, and it did it. So now we're going to go ahead and turn off that start and that stop function and show you what it looks like without the beginning stitch or the end stitch being reinforced. And as you can see here, now we just have a regular stitch without the reinforcement on the beginning or the end. And it's just as simple as pressing these two little buttons and deciding if you want those or if you don't want those on that certain project. One of my next favorite features on this machine, which they're pretty much endless because this machine just continues to amaze me every single day when I learn more things on it. And you can press this button right here, which I believe this is button B in the manual, which I'll attach the PDF manual in the description of this video. So if you guys want to look through the user manual and understand all the different features on this machine, you're free to do so, because I'm sure there's a lot more than I can even fathom speak with my own mouth. If I just tap on it, all of these buttons right here are going to turn green. And pretty much what that's doing is it's changing my settings for a certain setup. So right now when it's not green, I can label this as my light setup, and then I just press this B button and it's all green, and now this could be my heavy setup functions. So when it's highlighted green, I could, you know, put heavy up there, and then I can set these settings. So when I'm sewing, I could have it set up for my heavier applications. So let's just say I'm sewing over, you know, 4 layers of denim, and I have it on my light function where the buttons are not lit up green, and then I decide to go over, you know, 2 or 3 layers of a seam, or 3 layers or 4 layers or something heavier. I can just go ahead and select that button right there, and I'll be in my heavy mode function. And possibly I have this set up where my presser foot, my micro lifter is activated, my stitch length is a little bit longer, or my tension is a little bit tighter, because, you know, when you're sewing heavier things, that's what you're going to have. And that way you can just press one button versus having to change all your settings for different applications. So that is a really cool feature. And of course, the B button and the A button are programmable to do different things. You could program this to be your foot lift, your cutter, your, you know, there's like 16 different things you can do with it. I'll just kind of show you. Hold down M for 3 seconds. Actually, I think I need to be out of that function. I need to have my foot up. Hold down M for 3 seconds, and you'll pull up number 11. It says hand switch setting. You can select A or B, whichever one you're trying to program, and then you can sort through the 22 options that you can program these A or B buttons to do. Thread trimming function, presser lifting function, needle up down function. There's endless functions you can program these buttons to do, and that is what makes this machine so customizable and so user friendly for the person that is, you know, really using this machine on a daily basis and wants to have all of these options at their fingertips with just this little 4.3 LCD screen. And, you know, if that wasn't just enough and you want to do more customization because this machine has that capability, just go ahead and press that manual button, memory switch, we're going to go down to panel usage mode, and we're going to go ahead and go into 0, which is going to be the service mode, where you can do way more customization on this machine. And now we're going to go back, and now you're going to see there is a variety of way more options and settings you can adjust, such as feed dogs. So you can change your feed dog motion depending on what kind of sewing you're doing, based on pretty much, refer back to the user manual to understand all the different functions of the feed dogs. However, each one has a different aggressive motion for different types of materials. And this machine's really cool because not only is your feed dogs moving your material front and back, you can also raise your feed dogs up to have a little bit more grip into those heavier materials, which is very, very unique to this machine. You don't see that in domestic machines. And then you can also, program your machine where you want your needle to end up, needle to end down. Here's your feed dog height, where you can adjust the height of your feed dog. So it's just, this machine has endless capabilities. I could probably talk about this machine for a few hours, and quite honestly, I don't know all of the features that this thing can do, because I would probably have to sit down and read the manual for days to go over all the amazing features. But just the stuff that you can access in a few seconds is amazing. So imagine all the different little customization things you can do. It also has the option where you can download an Android app and play with all these settings on your iPad or your phone, and then create your stitches and your modes, and then upload it on here, so you don't have to do everything on this little screen. You can have that option to do it on something you're more comfortable using. So really, this machine is unbelievable. Well, there you guys have it. The 9000C is pretty amazing and has endless opportunities to customize. If you guys want to learn more, check out that user manual I'm going to put in the description, where you can kind of read over all the different settings. If you have this machine, leave some comments down below and tell us what your favorite features are. Maybe you can teach us something. And if you enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe. We post every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have questions on which machine model you want, the regular or the heavy, give us a call at 813-661-9000, or send us an email at sewingmachines411@gmail.com. We are open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.